Yeah, one of the things that I notice is that and when I look back at your CV is there are kind of these distinct moments where, I mean, I guess what I hear you saying is that philosophy is a language, a vocabulary, a series of conversations and arguments about the nature of reality and how we live within it. And for you, it seems like you moved in a practical direction. Seems like the first phase, I mean, I think looking back at your, kind of your PhD work, you were interested in time, kind of the nature of reality and how we live in time. And then you move into this conversation about human action in time that leads you, I think, to Aristotle and these conversations about the good life. I wonder kind of how you think about that. Am I kind of reading the intellectual journey that you're on correctly? Were you interested in questions of philosophy as a way of getting to reality, and then how it moves in a kind of practical wisdom direction, it seems.
Absolutely. It's funny. This week at Notre Dame in the mornings, we've been hosting an academic workshop for philosophers. And many of these folks I've known since I was in graduate school. I mean, I've known them for 20 years. And so they've seen me go through these transitions. And my job right now, which I think we'll get to, is pretty practical. And I actually spend most of my waking hours with people who are not college professors. So they're always like laughing of like, what happened to you? Because when I went to grad school, I did what all earnest graduate students do, which is you pick the hardest and most like niche topic. Whatever somebody in authority tells you is like the hardest topic you could possibly work on. You jump in and work on that. And like the more esoteric, the better, because when you're early on in grad school, your most fundamental drive is for people to think that you're smart. And that's the currency of grad school, is just like raw power. Like you can just do the hardest problems, the really difficult texts. And I was like, let's go when I was on my way to grad school. So like, what's the hardest possible topic? Like the nature of time itself. Like that's like, it doesn't even get too much more difficult than that. And actually, one of the things I learned I loved as a philosophy student that really convinced me to go to graduate school was that I liked the practical topics, but I also just loved the pure like system building and the really deep historical questions. So I was excited to work on that in grad school. My dissertation had the most like cringe title. It was called The A Theory, a Theory. the A Theory of Time, a Theory, but I even took out of time just to make it a little bit sillier. But I look back on this and like, oh my gosh, like nobody in there, I'm not even sure my dissertation advisor totally understood everything that was in that thing. It was like, it was cringe.
I get an email once a quarter with how many people have read my dissertation, how many people have pulled it electronically. I hope you don't get that email. It's very
I'm going to go
depressing.
look up your dissertation. I'm going to go pull it right now. What was your title, Eddie?
It was Organic Models of Church Renewal or something like that. But yeah, I'm averaging, I think, one a quarter. Probably, my wife is going to pull it just to keep me happy.
I have it on good authority that's not happening. It's not your wife.
I'm going to go get it after this. I'm going to pull it, put it on my shelf.
There you go.